مشاهدينا في كل مكان، أهلا وسهلا بكم. سعيد جدا بلقائكم في حلقة جديدة من برنامج علمتني الحياة. في هذه الحلقة سأستضيف لكم نموذجا جديدا لم نعهد على استضافته في علمتني الحياة. سأستضيف لكم مغنية راب أمريكية، لكن ليس مثل ما تعتقدون وليس مثل ما تتصورون. أستضيف لكم مغنية راب أمريكية اعتزلت الراب ودخلت في الإسلام والحمد لله، وتحولت حياتها من الظلمات إلى النور بكل ما تحمله الكلمة من معاني. ضيفتي تحولت من كريستين نيكول ريتشي إلى عابدة ريتشي وهي في الإسلام. سنتحدث في هذه الحلقة عن تفاصيل هذا التحول، عن تفاصيل النجاة على الأقل، والتحول كما قلت من الظلمات إلى النور. وكما هو معروف عندما نتحدث عن الراب الأمريكي فنحن نتحدث عن الصخب، عن الممنوعات، عن الكحول، التحول من كل تلك الحياة، من حياة الشهرة، من حياة الأموال، والتضحية بكل ذلك، والتحول إلى الإسلام والالتزام بقواعد الإسلام. وكما ستشاهدون الآن في الصورة الأولية لضيفتي، وأنا فخور جدا بلباسها وكذلك بطريقة تفكيرها وبطريقة حديثها. سنتعرف عن كل هذه التفاصيل في هذه الحلقة من برنامج علمتني الحياة مع السيدة عابدة ريتشي، مغنية راب أمريكية. عابدة، سعيد جدا وفخور جدا بأن أستضيفك في برنامج علمتني الحياة. مرحبا.
Assalamu alaikum.
وعليكم
So
السلام.
good to be here. Thank you.
شكرا. أنت لأول مرة هنا في الجزائر. قبل أن نناقش تفاصيل حياتك، كيف وجدت الجزائر وهل هي أول مرة تزورين فيها الجزائر؟
Yes, this is my first time to Algeria. It's my first full day here. So far, it's been so beautiful. Everything has been wonderful, and the Algerian people are so welcoming, and I'm so honored and I'm so proud to be able to not only call Algeria my home, my second home, but also that the Algerians called me part of their home. You know, all the Algerians have been saying, welcome to your home, welcome to your home.
مرحبا بك. أنت في بلدك في الجزائر وأنت بين أهلك، ونحن سعداء وفخورين جدا بك عابدة.
Thank you. Jazakallah khair. I'm so happy to be here. Honored.
ننطلق في النقاش. في البداية نعود بحلقات الذاكرة إلى السابق، إلى مرحلة ما قبل الإسلام. كيف بدأت علاقتك بأغنية الراب الأمريكية، وكيف كانت تسير حياتك مع الراب وفي ذلك الجو؟
So before I found Islam, before I became Muslim, you know, I was a famous rapper, and I lived a very crazy lifestyle, you know, with a lot of bad things and unhealthy life. And I enjoyed it. I did. I didn't see a problem with it. But the more that I found out about Islam before I actually became a Muslim, the more I wanted to get out of that lifestyle. I found that that lifestyle was not sustainable for me. And so the more I found out about Islam, the more I pulled away from the lifestyle I was living, even though that lifestyle was very successful for me.
عندما نقول أغنية الراب الأمريكي نقول الصخب، نقول الكحول، نقول الممنوعات، وهذه الأمور عندما يألفها الإنسان يصعب جدا أن يخرج منها. ذلك يتطلب إرادة كبيرة جدا. فكيف استطاعت كريستين نيكول ريتشي أن تتحول إلى عابدة ريتشي؟ كيف استطعت أن تتخلي عن كل ذلك الإدمان إن صح القول؟
So alcohol, I never did drugs, you know, alhamdulillah, but I drank alcohol a lot. And alcohol is an addiction. And people in America go to rehab for this problem, for this addiction, because people cannot stop on their own. It's hard for people to pull away from on their own. But really, all I can attribute it to is guidance from Allah, Hadayah, even before I was Muslim, because there's no other way I could have pulled myself out of that. But I woke up one day and I just threw all the alcohol in my kitchen. I threw it in the trash. I poured it out and threw it away. And honestly, I had tried to stop drinking before this time, and I was not able to, because again, addiction is very hard to escape from. You need to go to rehab. You need psychologists. You need medical doctors to get you away from this. You need time, years and years. But, you know, subhanAllah, I attribute it to Allah, because that's the only way that I could have escaped from that.
عابدة، نريد أن نوضح هذا الإحساس الذي تشعرين به الآن إلى جميع من يشاهدنا الآن، سواء من المسلمين أو من غير المسلمين. كيف كنت تقضي حياتك مع كل هذا الكم من الكحول ومع أغنية الراب الأمريكي؟ كيف كانت حياتك قبل أن تدخلي للإسلام؟
So, you know, as a pretty famous rapper, I toured a lot, you know, and got paid for my shows. So all the money that was incoming to me, I didn't use it to make myself like a brand, or I didn't go to use studio time or make merch, you know. I used it on alcohol. So every time I would go do a show, I show up and I make them have alcohol ready for me and drinking. And, you know, I was drunk at all my shows, so I was not able to perform in a professional way. I had to have my audience help me to remember my lyrics, because I would forget, you know, and I would live this lifestyle where I would sleep all day and wake up, drink, go do a show every night. Every night I was doing a show with, you know, big audiences, and it showed them that that's where the entertainment was. It was not about my rapping or my ability, my talent. It was, they came to see me entertain them, because I would show up to shows drunk like this. And, you know, I held a job, but at the same time, like, the only time I wasn't drinking when I was at work. So I didn't really have a life, just drinking and doing shows and sleeping. My life was nothing.
غالبا ما نشاهد عبر السوشيال ميديا وعبر الفيديوهات كذلك حياة سعيدة بالنسبة لمغني الراب الأمريكي، أموال وشهرة وسيارات فارهة وفلل. هل فعلا كانت الحياة سعيدة أم ذلك الأمر لم يكن حقيقة، لم يكن صحيحا؟
I think that the lifestyle that these rich and famous rappers portray is not accurate, because if you look at how they're living their life, yes, you have fancy cars and expensive things, but and for myself, you're just living to get drunk, or if you do drugs, you're living to get high. And you're not, when you're drunk or you're on drugs, you don't feel life. You don't know what's going on around you. You're just living for the moment. And then when you're not drunk or you're not high, you don't even remember what you were doing. So this is not a good, healthy life. And you don't remember, even if you had a good time or you had a good moment, you don't remember it, because when you're drunk and then you're afterwards, okay, you forget everything. You don't know what you were doing yesterday. It's not a sustainable life, and it's not a happy life.
الحمد لله الآن تحولت حياة عابدة وتحولت كما قلت من الظلمات إلى النور. لكن ما هو الشيء الذي كان منعرجا في حياتك؟ متى قررت عابدة أو تأكدت عابدة بأن هذه الحياة التي تعيشها ليست بالحياة الصحيحة، منعرج حياتك؟
So I used to work for the Saudi government and in Texas, and I started to be around a lot of Muslims, and they started to kind of tell me a little bit about Islam, and I was very interested in that. And as I said before, the more I found out about Islam, I kind of felt like this excitement, but a peace too, where I wanted to explore that feeling more. And so when I started to feel, not necessarily that I was going to be a Muslim, but when I started to feel that, hey, there's something else more, there's something more meaningful for me out there, maybe I have a purpose in life, let me explore this. So the more I dug into Islam, the more I learned about it, the more that I got closer and closer to becoming a Muslim, the easier it was for me to pull away from the lifestyle that I was living with the alcohol and the rap life, the rapper's style. And so it really helped me to be able to start to feel like, okay, I want to change my life. I want to get out of this situation and lifestyle and into something that's going to bring me more peace and give me a purpose. Because before Islam, I didn't feel like, oh, I'm born for a reason and I have a purpose.
هل استغرقت وقتا كبيرا في التفكير قبل الدخول للإسلام؟ كم استغرقت من وقت؟
It took me about a year learning about it from my students, my Saudi students that I was taking care of, and just slowly, I read the Quran in English, and it took about a year. But at the end of that year, in a short way, I had some Islamic dreams, very powerful dreams, and 3 nights in a row. The third one, I woke up and I said, I don't want to die as a non-Muslim. So I called them and I said, I need to go to the mosque now to take Shahada, because if I die today, I need to die a Muslim.
بصراحة عابدة، هنالك نور، بكل صراحة وبكل صدق هنالك نور يشع من وجهك. أنا شاهدت صورك عندما كنت مغنية راب أمريكية. كان وجهك ليس هو هذا الوجه، إلى درجة أني لم أتعرف عليك عندما شاهدتك. وجهك كان فيه ظلام، كان فيه تعب. اليوم هنالك نور يشع من وجهك، وهو نور الإسلام والحمد لله. وأشير للمتابعين بأن عابدة لا تضع مساحيق مكياج الآن في هذا الحوار. هذه هي الصورة الحقيقية لعابدة، وهذه هي الصورة الأصلية. طيب، ماذا شعرت عندما نطقت بالشهادتين؟
So when I took Shahada, I was scared and it was very fast because they had to translate for me, because you say the Shahada in Arabic. So I didn't know Arabic. And I'm just repeating what the Sheikh is saying, and I'm not really paying attention to what he's saying. So it was very fast, 1 second, 2 seconds. But afterwards, I had them write Shahada down for me on a paper so that I could really understand what I was saying. And then I asked to take it again. And I understood what I was saying and I accepted it. So I was feeling very excited. But at the same time, I was more worried in the moment about how I was saying it in Arabic because I didn't want to sound like uneducated.
طيب، في السابق كنت لا تفهمين ماذا تقولين عندما نطقت بالشهادة، لكن الآن يمكن أن تنطقيها على المباشر وأنت متأكدة وتشعرين بهذه الكلمات. هل يمكن أن تنطقي بها مجددا الآن أمام المشاهدين بدون أن أقول لك؟
I can. It's just because my Arabic is not good, so I feel like very shy to speak Arabic, especially with like Quranic Arabic and stuff. But of course, before I didn't know any, but now it's easier to say. So like La ilaha illallah, and it goes on. But my Arabic, I feel so shy, to say it because my Arabic is very bad.
نحن فخورين جدا بأنك تقومين بهذا المجهود وتبذلين مجهود كبير جدا. نعلم وندرك ونتفهم بأن الأمر صعب، وسنستضيفك مرة أخرى إن شاء الله وستكونين تتحدثين العربية، ليس فقط الشهادة، ونحن هنا من أجل مساعدتك يا عابدة. طيب، هنالك نقطة مهمة جدا. أنت تحولت من أغنية الراب ودخلت الإسلام. سنعود هل اعتزلت الراب أم لا، لكن الأهم هو أنك انتقلت من لباس الراب الذي هو الراب الأمريكي، عندما نشاهد لباس مفضوح، لباس غير طبيعي بين قوسين، إلى ارتداء الحجاب. ما شاء الله. كيف كان هذا التحول؟ ماذا تشعرين وأنت ترتدين الحجاب؟ في السابق كنت ترتدين ملابس باهظة الثمن، ونحن متأكدين من أن مغنيي الراب يرتدون ملابس باهظة الثمن. اليوم أنت ترتدين هذا الحجاب الجميل والرائع. كيف كان التحول وماذا تشعرين وأنت ترتدين الحجاب؟
So I started wearing hijab when I first became Muslim the first day, just because I wanted to be a good Muslim and please Allah. But to be honest, I didn't like wearing hijab. It's very uncomfortable. It made my hair fall out and all these things. But you know, the more I got into Islam, and it wasn't easier, but I had more of a motivation and determination to be more modest, because I wanted to give a good example of Islam. I saw many bad examples of Islam, but I still became Muslim despite that. So I wanted to make sure that every aspect of me was giving a good image about Muslims and a good image about Islam. Honestly, I never felt confident wearing revealing clothes. I felt comfortable, but I didn't feel confident that, hey, I want people to look at me in these clothes. But now, as a Muslim, and the more that I cover by wearing jilbab, I feel more confident. I feel very confident. Whereas wearing revealing clothes, I didn't feel confident at all. But now wearing jilbab, I feel so confident, and I feel like more free, and I feel like, you know, more safe, because, you know, people treat you different when you're dressed. Depending on how you're dressed, people will treat you differently. And I only get respect from men now, and women, and from anyone. So I really like that confidence. I like that respect. But I didn't like wearing hijab most of my time as a Muslim. I didn't like it, but I just did it for the sake of Allah. That's the only reason.
بكل صراحة عابدة، أنت أشرت إلى نقطة مهمة جدا، وهي قضية الثقة. بصراحة، هل عندما كنت ترتدين ذلك اللباس، لباس أغاني الراب واللباس باهظ الثمن بآلاف أو عشرات آلاف الدولارات، كانت لديك الثقة أفضل أم اليوم وأنت ترتدي هذا اللباس البسيط لكنه الثقيل عند الله عز وجل ازدادت ثقتك؟ الثقة كانت سابقا أكبر أم اليوم هي أكبر، الثقة في نفسك؟
Definitely now it's better, because even I wore the clothes because that's what was expected of me. I was a rapper, I was a singer, and that was the normal thing to wear. I had to fit in, but I didn't have any confidence. But now I have more confidence, and I feel happier, and I feel more confident, and I love when I go outside that I can feel like I'm not worried about how I look, because for me, I know that how I'm dressed is making me feel comfortable, and also it's pleasing to Allah. So it's much better now how I dress now than before.
ماذا تعني لك الآن عندما تشاهدين ألبسة الموضة والألبسة المفضوحة والألبسة العارية؟ ألا تمثل لك شيئا؟ لا تمثل لك ولا شيء الآن؟
I'm actually very embarrassed by the clothes that I used to wear. I look back now and I wish that any picture or video of me wearing those clothes didn't exist, because I look back now like, why? How did I wear that? But I did it for my fans. I did it for my followers and to fit into this image and this lifestyle. But I'm very embarrassed. So when I look back now, I don't want to remember how I used to dress.
هنالك نقطة مهمة كذلك في مسيرتك، وهي أنك توقفت حتى اعتزلت الغناء. دخلت الإسلام واعتزلت الغناء، صحيح؟ اعتزلت الغناء؟
Yes, so I stopped music just in one day. I was finished and I never went back. I've had a lot of people ask me to, can you make Islamic music? Can you make Islamic rap songs? I told them no, this is not the image of Islam that I want to give. So even though in the beginning as a new Muslim, I kind of had a doubt. I thought like maybe I could make Islamic music, or I could do nasheed, or I could do rap. But I said no, that's not the image that I want, and that's not the kind of lifestyle as a Muslim that I wanted.
بكل صراحة ما تقولينه هو فخر لنا جميعا، ونحن فخورين بأننا نسمع هذا الكلام منك. أنت تمثلين نموذج راقي جدا من المسلمين، فأشكرك جزيل الشكر، ونقدم لك كل التحية وكل التقدير وكل الدعم عابدة. نحن الآن في الشهر الفضيل، في شهر رمضان، وأنت لأول مرة هنا في الجزائر شهر رمضان. ماذا يعني لك شهر رمضان؟ ماذا يعني لك الصيام؟ كيف تصومين؟
Honestly, so I've been Muslim now almost 12 years. I've spent every Ramadan alone. And I've never, I'm gonna cry. I've never spent Ramadan with anyone. So I'm very alone. So to be in a Muslim country in Ramadan is the most beautiful thing. And to be fasting amongst other Muslims who are so welcoming and they want me to be part of them and be part of their iftar, it's the most amazing feeling. Last night was the first iftar I ever had with a Muslim family and in Ramadan, because every year I sit alone in my apartment. I live by myself. I just sit and eat pizza, or I order any food, and I eat by myself. And this is my Ramadan. So to be here in Algeria, in my home, and to be with Algerians, and to be able to fast with you guys, to be able to eat with you guys, it's something I can't explain. It's the most beautiful feeling. And last night, I make dua for Algeria and for Algerians, and I can't explain that how beautiful it feels that I finally feel like a Muslim.
أنت هنا للأسف لأيام قليلة فقط، لكن نتمنى بأنك ستعودين إلى الجزائر في مرات عديدة وأنت هنا في بيتك. وأنا أؤكد لك بأن كل الجزائريين فخورين بك عبيدة، وليس كل الجزائريين فقط بل كل المسلمين فخورين بك بما تقولينه وبما تسوقينه وبما تروجين له من أخلاق الإسلام. فكل الفخر، كل الشكر وكل التقدير لك عابدة. ماذا تعني لك الصلاة؟
For me, as a Muslim, as a new Muslim, it was very hard to make prayer feel like it had a meaning, because I had to learn Arabic, then I had to learn how to pray. A lot of Muslims, like here in Algeria, you are born learning how to pray. You're born hearing the Quran and hearing, Athan. So for a new Muslim to learn, I think born Muslims don't understand how difficult it is, because it's not that we just have to learn what is rak'ah, how many ruku, how many sujood, but we also have to learn the Arabic, how to do tashahud, and everything. So in the beginning, the first couple of years, my meaningful moments came from dua, because I'm talking to Allah. It wasn't until I learned how to speak Arabic in my prayers for like tashahud and salat that I started to feel a connection with Allah. And it wasn't until, but now, sometimes my emotion gets the better of me, and I forget that all I have to do is go pray 2 rak'ah, and you feel a peace and a calm afterwards. So my prayer is very important to me, and that's one thing that drew me to Islam was the prayer, because we pray 5 times a day. It keeps us connected to Allah. So for me, it's very important, because even if you are in a bad point in your life, sometimes our iman goes up and down, but when you keep your prayer, it keeps that connection between you and Allah and you and your deen. So it's very important for me.
طيب، ماذا تقولين عن الحجاب عموما عابدة؟
Hijab in general, I think it's very necessary, because there's been times even in my own life as a new Muslim where I wasn't even sometimes not really practicing Islam like I should, maybe not praying or something. But, people will look at a woman who's not wearing hijab, but she are wearing hijab, but she's not praying, or she's drinking. But look, the thing is, if you keep that hijab on, even if you're not practicing, you're not fasting or praying, it's the one thing keeping you connected to your deen, to Islam. Because if you remove the hijab, you have no connection to Islam. So I feel like that. So no matter what's going on in my life, I will never take it off, because even if I'm not doing good in other things, it's keep my connection. And I started out wearing hijab, tight jeans, tight pants, tight shirts. This is how I've been dressing. It wasn't until year or two ago, when I start wearing jilbab, I start wearing even more modest clothing. Why? Because it makes me confident and I feel more comfortable, and because I think hijab beautifies women, to be honest.
ألم يخلق لك هذا مشكلة في مجتمعك، في عائلتك في أمريكا؟ كيف تعامل أصدقائك، المجتمع القريب إليك، عائلتك، مع دخولك للإسلام ومع التزامك بتعاليم الإسلام؟
In the beginning, nobody accepted me. My family disowned me. So my friends disowned me. And I was alone for the majority of time I've been a Muslim. But I didn't have the confidence to fight back and push back, you know. But now it's not how I dress, especially in Texas, where I'm from. It's not accepted. People yell at me all the time, and people say very bad things to me in the street or in the store. But because of the confidence that I get from hijab, it gives me an opportunity for dawah. You know, it gives me an opportunity to be like, hey, you don't like what I'm wearing? Let's talk about it. And this is how I do my dawah when people attack me. But my mom, she didn't like me wearing hijab at first. She was scared because when Americans see someone dressed in hijab, they're scared because people are scared of what they are not familiar with. But you know, there's not a lot of women in America wearing jilbab like I'm wearing. They wear hijab with jeans or t-shirts, but when they see me, they're like, I'm scared, you know? But it's a good conversation because it's a way to make dawah. And it's a way to get them educated so that they're not scared. Because when someone is knowledgeable about something and they're educated about it, they become more familiar so they don't feel scared from it. They may not understand it or accept it, but my mom now, even for like my birthday, she gives me a gift. She got me a hijab one year for my birthday, and she's not even a Muslim. And in the beginning, she was scared from it, and now she's buying them for me. And the first time I wore jilbab in front of her, she was like, oh, I like your dress, you know, she's getting comfortable. So it just takes a matter of us educating them and explaining why we're doing it, because they think, oh, your husband's making you dress like that, you're oppressed. This is what all of America thinks when they see me like this. I'm like, I'm not married. No one's making me do it. My I'm an adult. I live by myself. I do it because I like it, because I want to do it. So.
ما شاء الله، أنت سبقتينا وتجاوزتينا عبد. أنت أفضل منا الآن لأنك تقومين بالدعوة وأنت تقدمين إضافة للإسلام وللمسلمين. بالعودة إلى قضية الصلاة عابدة، في البداية الكثير سواء من المسلمين أو من الذين يدخلون إلى الإسلام صلاة الفجر كلي عندهم صعوبة في صلاة الفجر. ألم تتلقي صعوبة في هذا التوقيت لما تستيقظ باكرا أحيانا ساعة 4 ساعة 5 من أجل تأدية الصلاة؟ كيف تعايشتي مع هذا الوضع؟
In America, it's a lot later than 4 a.m. But yes, sure, I had a problem. But the crazy thing about my story is that all my dreams that I had before becoming Muslim were in the time of Fajr. And Surah al-Fajr was the first surah I memorized even before Fatiha. And it was easier for me. So I've always had a connection, even before I was a Muslim, with Fajr time. It was very difficult in the beginning, yes. But to be honest, because of my lifestyle, I was a night owl. Like, I was up all night. So usually when I first became Muslim, I just stayed up for Fajr. I didn't sleep, so it wasn't a problem. But no, I love waking up for Fajr. And let me tell you a note. This morning, waking up to Athan for Fajr, and my breath was taken away. Because, you know, in America, we don't have the Athan. We can't hear it. So this morning, my first morning in Algeria, and hearing the Athan, I was crying. It was the most beautiful moment in my life till now.
أشكرك جزيل الشكر عابدة. الحديث معك شيق ومهم وملهم كذلك. نتوقف عند فاصل قصير ولنا عودة من أجل مواصلة الحديث عن هذه التجربة الرائعة والراقية والمشرقة والمشرفة. مشاهدينا، نتوقف عند فاصل قصير ولنا عودة، يبقوا معنا. مستمرون معكم في هذه الحلقة من برنامج علمتني الحياة. في هذه الحلقة الخاصة والحلقة المشرفة كذلك، المشرفة لضيفتي والمشرفة لنا جميعا كذلك كمسلمين. استمعتم في الجزء الأول كيف كانت تعيش كريستين ريتشي، وكيف صارت تعيش عابدة ريتشي، أي كيف تحولت من مرحلة ما قبل الإسلام ومرحلة الراب الأمريكي والغناء والكحول والممنوعات إلى الهداية وإلى النور وإلى الالتزام بتعاليم الإسلام. وأنتم تشاهدون هذا النور الذي يظهر على وجه ضيفتي السيدة عابدة ريتشي، وهي مغنية راب أمريكية معتزلة. تحدثنا ووصلنا إلى نقطة الآذان، وماذا تشعر عندما تستمع إلى الأذان، خاصة وأنها مسلمة منذ 12 سنة وقضت العديد من شهر الصيام وهي لوحدها في بيتها. أهلا بك مجددا عابدة، أتشرف كثيرا بالاستماع إلى قصتك. ما هي الأمور التي غيرها الإسلام في شخصيتك وفي حياتك؟
Where to start? Before Islam, I was very crazy, very outgoing, but in the wrong way. I didn't care about my reputation. I didn't care about what people think of me. I just did what I wanted to do, and how I looked, it doesn't matter. Like I said before, how I dressed, even I looked bad, but I didn't care. How I act, how I treat people. But now my personality has changed, where I care very much about how people look at me. I want people to respect me. I want people to see a person who's wholesome and good. And I want people to see the purity that Islam has brought to me, and my personality now, I'm still very crazy. I'm still very wild, but in a way for Islam, in the way to fight for Islam. So and I worry about my reputation, and I think that's important to mention, because part of being a Muslim woman, but being a Muslim in general, but being a Muslim woman especially, we should be presenting ourselves in a way to have people respect us. Because, if you are not presenting that, then it gives the fuel to the fire for the non-Muslims who think that we are oppressed, that the men lock us up in the homes, and that we are slaves, And so when we can be confident, and when we can worry about how we look to other people and our reputation, people will have that respect. They will see the confidence. So my personality's changed in a lot of ways, basically, where I have a cause and a purpose now with everything that I do, how I dress, how I talk, how I act, how I interact with other people. I'm always thinking about how is this going to look for others, because I want to be a good role model.
هل تشعرين بالسعادة الآن؟ هل أنت سعيدة في الإسلام؟
I'm so happy. I wasn't a role model before, and now that I feel like I'm a good role model and trying to be a better one, this is my life's purpose, to just give a good image, and it makes me happy. It gives me a reason to wake up, and it gives me, when things are very bad for me, at the end of the day, I can think to myself and know, hey, I'm doing my best. And having that to fall back on, and that thought, keeps me happy even in really bad situations.
هل قمت بزيارة مكة المكرمة؟ هل قمت بأداء العمرة أم تطمحين إلى هذا مستقبلا؟
Not yet. For sure I want to go. I actually Prince Abdulaziz bin Fahd Al Saud gave me a Hajj visa a long time ago. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go. The American government took it from me. But it's been a dream of mine to go. For many years, women have not been able to travel alone. So I'm just waiting, I guess, to get married and get to go. Or if not, I would like to go, because women can go now who are not married.
كل التحية للإخوة في المملكة العربية السعودية على تسهيلهم لهذه الجزئية، وأتمنى بأنك ستؤدين العمرة قريبا والحج كذلك لما لا. طيب عابدة، في الكثير من المرات تكون لدينا فكرة عن أشياء لم نجربها، نسمع عنها فقط، لكن عندما نجربها قد تتغير لنا الفكرة كاملة. الإسلام هل وجدتيه مثل ما كان يروج له في أين كنت تعيشين، في أمريكا أو في الأماكن التي كنت تعيشين فيها، أم وجدت شيئا مغايرا تماما؟
Um, I had a very good introduction to Islam from the people that I knew, and I spent a lot of time with them, with their families and whatnot. So actually, it wasn't that different. The only different thing that I found before I was a Muslim and when I became a Muslim is like, you know, before, if I was out shopping, it was time for prayer. Obviously, I wouldn't have to worry about finding a place to pray, you know. So it's little things like that that I have to try to fit into my day-to-day activities. But mostly, I was lucky. I had a really good experience and environment. So when I became Muslim, it wasn't like anything shocking that I had to experience for a new time.
مهمة هذه النقطة. عندما تكوني منشغلة بأمر ما ويرفع الأذان، تتوقفي تروحي تصلي وبعدين تكملي ولا كيف؟
It depends where I'm at because America is not very. In America, they don't let us have Ramadan off. We have to work in Ramadan. We have to work in Jummah. We have to work in Eid. So we don't get these opportunities.
صحيح.
I work from home, so I'm blessed. I can pray all my prayers. But if I'm out somewhere, yes, I have sajada in my car. I will do a parking lot or on the side of the building. But yes, I stop and I want people, the non-Muslims, to see me pray because every time they do, they come to me and I do dawah. So it's a good opportunity for that.
طيب لو طلبت منك رسالة لمن يشاهدنا الآن من غير المسلمين، ماذا تقولين لهم عن الإسلام؟
To non-Muslims, I would say to give yourself a chance to know what is the real Islam and not what American media says it is or the movies, American movies, to just meet a Muslim. Just talk to a Muslim, make a Muslim friend. The mosques are always open, even in America, for visitors to come and just to learn, you know. And as Muslims, we are not the type, there's no compulsion in our religion. So we're not the type to say, hey, you have to convert. You're here at the mosque, you have to convert. No, we like to just educate. And then you make your own decision after that. Whereas, you know, in America, other religions, they kind of force you or they make you feel obligated. So to the non-Muslims, I would say to feel comfortable to visit the mosques, to talk to me, you know, to talk to anyone that you know Muslim and ask questions. And that's it, because when you start asking questions, you will start understanding where our peace and our happiness comes from.
أشكرك جزيل الشكر. لم يتبقى لنا الكثير من الوقت. السيدة عابدة ريتشي، برنامجي اسمه علمتني الحياة، وربما أنت واحدة من بين أهم من يمكن أن يقول لنا ماذا علمته الحياة. فماذا علمتك الحياة؟
Yes, I really appreciate it. You know, there's nothing more important lesson in life than to be brought from a dark place into the religion of Islam. There's no better lesson than that because it's only Allah who can take you from such a dark place and such a bad lifestyle and bring you to a lifestyle that is helping others and healing yourself. So I really appreciate your time to hear my story because me sharing my story with people, it helps me to have a purpose in life, to do something good for Islam, and to inspire others who may be interested to leave that lifestyle that I was in. Maybe they're in the situation like that and they want to leave. So it's very important for me to be able to share my story. And I'm so thankful and honored to have you listen to my story and to hear it. And I'm so thankful to you for that.
أشكرك جزيل الشكر عابدة. أنا متأكد من وأعتقد شيء مهم جدا هو أن الله يحبك ومن علامات حب الله لك هو أنه أنقذك من تلك الظلمات، وأنقذك من تلك الممنوعات، ومن تلك الحياة المجنونة التي كنت تعيشينها، إلى هذا النور، إلى هذا الهداية، إلى النور الذي يظهر على وجهك، إلى الحجاب، إلى الإسلام، والآن إلى الدعوة كذلك فأنت تقدمين نموذج مشرق مشرف جدا عن المرأة المسلمة. أشكرك جزيل الشكر، تشرفت كثيرا بالاستماع إليك، وأنا فخور جدا بأني تبادلت معك هذه اللحظات، وبأني سننقل معا هذه القصة الجميلة جدا للمشاهدين في الجزائر وفي العالم الإسلامي وفي العالم ككل. شكرا جزيلا، بارك الله فيك.
جزاك الله خير. شكرا.
شكرا جزيلا. إذا المشاهدين وصلنا إلى ختام هذه الحلقة المميزة من برنامج علمتني الحياة، وشاهدتم وسبحان الله الذي هدى عابدة وحولها من كريستين إلى عابدة، حولها من الظلمات إلى النور، إلى الالتزام، توقفت عن الإدمان، إدمان الكحول، اعتزلت الغناء، اعتزلت تلك الألبسة التي كانت ترتديها. عندما نقول الراب الأمريكي فنحن نتحدث عن صنف مجنون من الغناء، كل شيء فيه مجنون، الحياة مجنونة واللباس مجنون، لكنها استطاعت مثلما قالت في يوم واحد أن تغير كل تلك الفكرة وتلك العادات. هذا طبعا بفضل الله أولا، لكن بفضل مجهودها كذلك وبفضل حبها للإسلام ولتعاليم الإسلام. أشكركم جزيل الشكر على المتابعة، ألقاكم الأسبوع المقبل، السلام عليكم.